Tiger Woods. If you don't know the full story of what happened to Tiger Woods yesterday, it is far more than just the physical car accident. Tiger Woods was at a resort hotel as he is in Los Angeles. He is filming several TV shows and meeting with producers. So here's what happened yesterday morning. If you don't know, this is the full story. Tiger has a 8 a.m. meeting in Los Angeles at Riviera Country Club. He is in Rancho Palos Verdes, which, by the way, is in southern LA County. So he comes out to his loaner car because the Open gave him a Lexus SUV to drive for the week. So he parked that at his resort, came out to get in, and his SUV was blocked by a production truck because at the resort he was staying at, they're filming a TV show. Mm-hmm. He was running late, so he got pissed and started, raising his voice, Tiger did, and, hey, you need to move this truck. And by all accounts, he was really salty. He was really upset. It delayed him by a significant amount of time. Finally, the truck is moved. Tiger goes tearing out of the parking lot to the point where he almost hit the director of the TV shoot who was driving into the parking lot as Tiger was finally driving out. So before he got in the car accident, Tiger Woods was upset. He was frustrated. He goes storming out of the parking lot. Having been in that area, I can tell you that where Tiger got into this car accident is downhill into a flat. So it is notoriously fast. And so he's all pissed off and amped up anyways. He's late for his meeting at Riviera. So Tiger goes screaming down this hill too fast, hits a median, loses control of the SUV. It flips multiple times, goes well off the road. It is probably 25 yards off the pavement. And it lands, after barrel rolling, it lands on the driver's side door. And Tiger instantly realizes two things. He is severely injured, and he is trapped. He cannot move. He cannot get out of the car.
Terrifying.
That has got to be one of the worst. Now, knock on wood, I've never been in that situation.
I'm just assuming that he was knocked out in the car crash.
He was not.
He was not. He was conscious
not.
The whole time?
Yes. So how we know that is when rescue rolled up on the scene, when the police got there and then rescue rolled up, they have now released the 911 tape of one caller and the dispatch tape of the officers on scene. They immediately knew somebody was in big trouble in that car because the language they used about heavy. On the tape, you hear the officer describing that they need to come in heavy because that means the jaws of life. The car is destroyed. They can't get the guy out.
Yeah.
The officer said on CNN last night he immediately noticed it was Tiger Woods because Tiger was going to shoot a golf show. He was going to Riviera to have a meeting. Then he was going to go and shoot some more episodes of a Golf Channel show he does where he teaches famous people to golf. In fact, on Monday, he had put up a video of him and Dwayne Wade on social media. The officer noticed it was Tiger Woods because he had all of his gear in his car, and so they knew what they were dealing with and who they were dealing with.
Yeah.
They immediately called the jaws of life. They cut him out of the car. He was so seriously injured, they life flighted him to Harbor UCLA Medical Center in LA, which is like one of the best trauma centers in the country, by the way. And at the end of it all, somehow, some way, he just has fractures in his leg, in his right leg, it looks like. Now, this is a guy who recently had back surgery and has had multiple discectomies in his back. So you wonder what other lingering effects will come from this. Mm-hmm. But in total, it looks like the injuries are that you have two bones in your lower leg, your tibia and your fibula. And and those bones are both broken. His ankle is broken, and his foot is broken. All of that on the right leg.
Dude.
He went through hours of surgery yesterday immediately to try and save the leg, which they were able to do, and he is now resting in a hospital.
Bro.
If you look at that car,
It's not a car anymore.
I don't know how he survived that. The police said the only way that the only explanation is the safety technology in the Lexus
Yeah.
and a seatbelt,
Yeah.
which he was wearing.
Yeah.
That's the only way you survive something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I just think that,
wow.
the tough part about this whole conversation is number one, I feel like that Tiger Woods there's always something with Tiger, right? Like whether it's the Perkins waitress, whether it's the breakup, there's always something happening.
Perkins waitress.
Like there's always something happening with Tiger. He's one of those folks that always finds himself in like precarious situations that either will make them look foolish or like will hurt them or whatever. So it's just I'm not blaming him certainly, but what I am saying is that at some point if you're Tiger Woods, don't you just make a phone call? Can't he just say, "Hey, listen, this TV production truck blocked me in, and it took us 20 minutes to find the driver, so I'm going to be late. I'm so sorry about that." Like, that's what surprises me about this whole thing when I hear the story.
Well, it sounds like, and I don't know, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I mean, it sounds like you're talking about, whether or not Tiger Woods wasted his prime. And I think there's a legitimate argument in that direction to be had because everything went wrong the minute that Elam Woods hit him in the face with that golf club or whatever happened.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that story, Tiger Woods he used his driver on hose from every continent, essentially. I mean, from porn stars like Tiger is a sex addict.
It's notorious, yeah.
Porn stars, hookers. Jake talked about a waitress at Perkins in the back of an SUV. I mean, it is amazing that Tiger Woods was standing on top of the world. When his dad passed away, Tiger got a phone call while he was in bed with a pro. He got a phone call that his dad died. Like, that's the life that this guy was leading. His wife finds out about it. Tiger had taken Ambien and painkillers at home. His wife finds out, goes after him with a golf club. Tiger gets in his Cadillac under the influence of Ambien and smashes into a median in Florida.
It's not his first time.
And we've never had that same Tiger Woods back again.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people who believe Tiger's wasted his prime, and I got to tell you, I don't disagree. How many more majors would he have won? How much more money would he have made? I don't know. And maybe I don't care, to be honest with you. Maybe that's what comes to my mind is I really don't care.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch a guy continually make poor choices and sabotage himself.
And it makes me wonder, again, based on the story that we've been told, so he comes out of the place, he gets really upset because he's blocked in, he's all pissed off and yelling at people, and it essentially sounds like he was kind of like raging almost, like he was that upset about it. And it just begs the question, like, dude, like, what made you get so mad? Like, You literally, think about this. Let's put this in perspective. This guy is a professional golfer, the best golfer of all time by most people's opinions. And you're getting mad because you're blocked in? Because that will make you late for an appointment?
I mean, we can all.
But, like, there's a difference between being upset and then going way over the top to the point where you almost hit somebody leaving the parking lot, and then you're still so upset that you go flying down this hill.
I don't know that he was upset when he got in the accident. I think he was trying to make up time.
Well, whatever the case may be, my point is that you're Tiger Woods. You're not some production assistant. Make a phone call. Tell him, hey, like value yourself enough to say, hey, like, I get it. I'm late, and I'm sorry about that, but this is what happened. Like, that's the shame in this whole thing.
Well, I don't think Tiger has to apologize. And I would agree with you that if you're Tiger Woods, you can be an hour late to a meeting, right? I think the hard part is that we none of us have the proper perspective in moments like that. I've done that. Like how
Yeah,
many?
the difference
how
is
many
you
times
didn't drive off the damn road and
right? But
almost
how
kill
many
yourself.
times have you and I been in a car together where we're racing somebody down an on ramp,
But that's
and one of us is wetting ourselves because we're not in the driver's seat?
But that's different.
Is it different?
Yes,
Like it's
it
a
is
lack of
different.
perspective, right?
Right, but here's the
how many
difference.
times have we been in a car together going 120 miles an hour?
Right. But
Many.
you're focusing on the wrong thing. Here's what I'm saying. It's not about the speed. It's about why you were doing it. Racing somebody on an on-ramp is fun. You're not going to kill yourself doing that, right?
Well,
Going down a hill in not on a freeway because that's a pedestrian street he was on. Going that fast, going downhill into a flat that leads you into a corner, and rolling your vehicle. Do you know how fast you have to be going to roll a modern day vehicle? Like even if it is a crossover,
The violence.
those cars are built not to roll.
the violence and the force.
Like, listen, I'm not saying he made the choice to go and roll his car.
No, he made a
but
mistake. He made
yeah,
a mistake.
Like
but how many mistakes has this guy made?
Yeah.
If you, like, how many lives does this guy have left?
And to be super clear, I'm not saying that I don't feel bad for him because I do. That's a horrific accident. That is I would wish that on nobody.
Yeah,
But-
your life is forever altered.
But what I am saying is if we're going to have the perspective conversation, this is the perspective that I think that we need to have. He's a professional athlete. He's got everything he could ever need in life to be successful. Everything. Yet you're still so upset to the point where you're rolling your car because you were going probably in surplus of 100 miles an hour down that hill at like most likely.
No, I guess he'd be doing 60 to 80.
Okay, 60 to 80 on a pedestrian street.
And then
yeah.
you hit a median, and you're done.
You're done. It's
You're
over.
along for the ride at that point.
And it's just I guess the reason I feel frustration on this is because it just should have never happened. It never needed to happen. It never needed to be here. We never needed to be here having this conversation. This is like the same frustration I feel over Kobe dying. The pilot should have never flown that day. It should have never happened. We shouldn't be here having to talk about like why Kobe's not here anymore. You know? But we are because there are mistakes that are made. So it just is frustrating that powerful athletes get put in interesting positions.
It is, and looking at Rancho Palos Verdes. For those of you who don't know, and I'm just reading some of the stupid messages about Tiger Woods, like
I'm guessing he's not being treated well on YouTube.
he's not, which is fine. But looking at where he was, Rancho Palos Verdes, Rolling Hills Estate.
It's beautiful.
It's on the peninsula. It's just west of Long Beach. It's a beautiful area. It really truly is it's just unfortunate. The whole thing is unfortunate. I hope this is the end of the ridiculousness for Tiger. I really hope I was listening to a national radio show yesterday, which was probably a mistake, but he was compared to O.J. Simpson. And now, granted, murder and hookers are two totally different things. But are they really that far apart? If you look at the way the careers are derailed, and you look at just the awful decisions that guys in power make, it is remarkable to me.
Yeah.
If you look at, like, the other thing that I was listening to, I think it was NPR at one point yesterday, about the comparison of Tiger Woods and Donald Trump. Because they golf together.
Right. Yeah.
They're friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they both just make horrible choices. Like, it's remarkable that money does not buy you intelligence.
No.
Money does not buy you ethics and morals.
In fact, I would say that money buys you more opportunity to screw yourself.
I mean, if you think about the damage that powerful men have done to themselves, whether it's Bill Clinton, whether it is
Jeff Bezos,
Tiger,
Donald Trump.
I mean, the list is endless.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to understand that money doesn't change you.
Mm-hmm.
Money simply reveals your true self.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have more money to feed your desire.
Yeah.
You have more money to feed your deviance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at guys like Donald Trump, paying porn stars.
Yeah.
If you look, like, if you're Donald Trump, and this is the Tiger Woods thing that I've never understood. You're Tiger Woods. Are you telling me there is not a chick who will not lay down with you? Pretty much on the entire world.
It
And
kind of
to prove that point,
Yeah.
you went from banging hookers and Perkins waitresses in the back of your SUV to laying in Lindsey Vohn's bed on a regular basis. Tiger Woods doesn't need hookers and Perkins waitresses. He wants them.
Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
He wants them, right? Like, that's the thing that's so spectacularly ugly about the Trumps, the Clintons, the Woods, the OJs. They want it. They need it. If it's not heroin or meth, it's hookers and blow. Like,
I want it.
It's sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what you will, and this is what I've always said about this, and then we're going to talk about ghosts pulling babies under cribs in England. What I've always said is, it's amazing what rich people will pay to wreck themselves.
And he will every single time.
It is amazing that Gwyneth Paltrow will shove rocks in her vagina and then lose millions of dollars because of it. It is amazing that Donald Trump will allegedly pay off Stormy Daniels because he wanted to stick his ugly mushroom head in her garden.
It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy.
And will lose a fortune because of it.
So I said, yeah.
It's amazing that Bill Clinton will lose all respect and a lot of integrity to get some blowy from Monica on her blue dress in the Oval Office because he can.
You are what you are.
It's amazing that Tiger Woods likely gave away the career Majors 1 record so that he could bang a Perkins waitress in an SUV behind her restaurant.
How the fuck else would you do this job?
And yet here we are, O.J. Simpson jumping over, railings in airports, gave away tens of millions of dollars his entire life because he couldn't let go of his wife.
Yep.
Like, it's amazing to me.
And that's why I say I don't wish Tiger ill will at all. Like, it's incredibly concerning that he almost died yesterday.
No, you don't wish him.
I think that what I wish is that Tiger would. What's very clear to me in this whole situation is there's two types of athletes in this world, right? Look at LeBron, for example. Just as an example. LeBron is a guy who understands that he's a billionaire and is never going to need to make another dollar in his life, right?
Yep.
Now, he still wants to make that money, but what he really and truly understands is that he's not going to get away from the core of why he wanted to be an NBA player, which was to get out of the hood and take care of his family. And he's done that now. And now he's done so well that not only is he going to take care of his mother and his immediate family, he's going to take care of his kids, their kids, and everybody else. And then what he understands
generations
too,
deep.
So he's got the generational wealth, but then what he understands too is that now he's got to build things that will outlast his life so that his family continues to be taken care of. So what that's done for him, and my point here, is that he's got processes and structure in place to make sure he's never in a position to embarrass himself or be leveraged or be in a bad spot. Whereas Tiger Woods, for example, doesn't have that. Tiger Woods is just one dude who's made a lot of money golfing.
What LeBron gets that Tiger does not is that it's cool that you're a multimillionaire. Probably 100 millionaire
Probably.
if you're LeBron.
Yeah.
Right?
No, LeBron. I think LeBron's pushing $1 billion. Tiger's 100 millionaire for sure.
Okay, cool.
But yeah,
You got more money than anybody needs.
Yeah.
What's the difference between LeBron and Tiger? LeBron built the people around him into millionaires so they didn't have to carry them. Tiger Woods is busy hanging around hookers and porn stars and Perkins waitresses.
Yeah.
LeBron invested in his circle. He made them agents. He made them entertainers.
Which, by the way, I find it so fascinating that people are just now figuring out that LeBron is the one who runs his sports agency through Rich Paul and all those guys.
Really?
Like, I saw on Twitter the other day, there was a whole story about how people just started figuring this out. Like, did you really think that LeBron was going to let his high school buddy run his sports agency? LeBron just can't do it because there's a conflict of interest. He can't have the title. But LeBron's the one making the decisions. Like,
Yeah.
do people not get that? Like, so
And look how many guys that are represented by Rich Paul are on the Lakers.
Yep.
He surrounds himself with his people. and he builds and I don't mean to get to all, knowing or omnipotent.
Advice from Uncle Monty.
If you have tens of millions of dollars, you need to build the people around you
Yeah.
so that they are not a drain on you.